listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney. In 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? A little BT Unleashed at night, chilling out here, watching the Yanks and the O's. Sorry, a little late. I was doing the Jet show. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. Yankees, no runs yet, no hits. Going to the bottom of the second here. Alonso is batted. Lumbard just had a pretty good at bat, but he struck out on a high fastball. So we're going to start doing this a little bit more and obviously do a big launch for the first game. Jets week 1, Tennessee. And then obviously a lot of Yankee playoff games. J-Rod is here. He'll pop in and out. Let's get it going. So what's up, man? Good to see you again there, Jay. It's been a while.
Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a real long time.
Been a minute, homie. It's been a little bit. As Gunnar Henderson digs in. He's hitting 220. Gunnar Henderson, here's the pitch from Rodon. Pretty good pitch out in front. Flies the front shoulder. Gisham is going to track that. A little can of corn. All right, today's show brought to you by Sullivan Papain. You can find Sullivan online at triallaw1.com. That's triallaw1.com. Remember the name Sullivan Papain. It really is amazing that Gunnar Henderson is hitting 220. Like, he's having a rough year. And by Premio Sausage, the way sausage should be. You can find them at premiofoods.com. We're in your local grocery store as we, watch Rodon. I'll keep an eye on the velocity. He's got 21 pitches already with one out here, bottom of the second. No score, no hits either side, as I said. But there's actually some favorable medical developments here for the Yankees. And we'll see if this is really accurate or what it leads to. I mean, I'm sure it's accurate. I would take that back. But it doesn't mean it's going to be linear. I mean, you hope that it is, and you hope the progression continues. But so Aaron Boone said today that Aaron Judge's, and this is massive potentially, that Aaron Judge's hitting progression is hitting a new level. Now, listen, I've talked about this, obviously, during the show, during the week, in the morning at 10 o'clock, obviously, Unleashed here. And I was just surmising what he was doing. We knew that he was jogging. We knew that he was, got a little tired. The ump's got something in his eye. All right, he'll be fine. Suck it up, buddy. Come on. Stop looking for the extra camera time. Let's go. And I did not know where he was swinging the bat. A little jogging, a little light toss, playing catch, and all that. That's basic stuff, which he was doing, which Boone confirmed. But the hitting progression is such that he was taking some swings underwater, which makes some sense. Obviously, you're going to get some resistance. You're going to get some built-in protection there for that fractured rib. I would have to guess, and he didn't really elaborate too much on this. Here's the 2-0 from Rodon, strike in the inside corner. Good-looking pitch, tied him up. I would think that the next step would have to be dry swings. Like, you're not going to BP. Like, I still think BP is a little bit off. I would have to think that it's dry swings, and then it's probably maybe 30, 40, 50%. Good slider right there as well, low and in. 2-2, that may have been a sinker. And that was a slider. And then once you go from the dry swings and you feel okay, now you go to the batting tee. Just get the hands going a little bit. Then you do a little front toss, a little soft toss. So there's still a couple of checkpoints here. But it's certainly better news than the alternative. Like, no, he's not there yet, or God forbid he had a setback. So I'll take that as a little, as he bounces one in the dirt, make it a full count here, full count 3-2. I mean, that ball was a 56-footer here. The news is it does represent a little bit of progress, and now we'll see where it goes. Now, the other thing, and I saw some clips. Hold on. Here's the 3-2. Rodon at the belt. He gets the sign. And here's the pitch, a little bit inside. That's also a slider, I think. That's a four-seamer. Inside and low, so he walks him. So that was a little lack of command. And, I mean, listen, that's not to be unexpected here. He's obviously a little rusty. Those two pitches missed by a mile. But now I saw the clips, and I wasn't able to fully dive into it. Like, I saw a couple of things written, and then I saw some other people kind of write about it, and other people speculate. There's a thought that the Yankees are pulling the Dodgers here with Fried to an extent and trying to preserve that arm so that everybody's healthy for an October run. I wouldn't have an issue with that. I would not have an issue with that if that's the case. I just don't know why you would do that. Number one, when Max Fried has, like, if it's not a real issue, when he's already had a previous issue, so it's the second time it's the bone bruise, right? And then the other thing, too, is he's pitched very well. 4 of the 5 starts, he's been on point with a whip less than 1. He's only had one shaky outing, and it's like, I even said this earlier on the show. Like, if it's Cam Schlittler, has a good pitch at the knees, fastball, strike one out, man on first, 0-0 score. Yanks and the O's from beautiful Camden Yards, folks. And we're going to call the game. Got church it up a little bit. Got to give you the announcer voice here, Jay. And I would get it more if it was like a young pitcher like Cam Schlittler, and you talk about these benchmarks, and this is just the way baseball is now. There's a bullet up the middle, base hit, 2 hops, Gisham fields it, first and second, 1 out. That ball was hit on the screws. I'm going to guess that was about 105 off the bat. I don't know if we'll get the exit velo. When we get all the bells and whistles, by the way, and that's something that we're working on. This is a dry run. We have to sign it, so I'm not going to say their name yet, but we are at the 1 yard line with a company that is going to provide aesthetically a different look for this as we do live watch parties. Obviously, October baseball, we'll do a lot of Knicks stuff, maybe a St. John's game or two that I can't make on the road, and then obviously a lot of Jet stuff. That could be 2. There's one. Oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. See, I just did a segment on this. Yeah, I cannot. Jazz Chisholm, he's just got to go. He is just in space. He looks like a knucklehead, and he plays like a knucklehead. This is an absolute lock for a double play. It's about a 2-hopper. He's behind the umpire. Now he's going to say he was shielded by the umpire. All right, you want to use that as an excuse, whatever. Make the play. You're a major league second baseman. Now he's chirping at the umpire. What he did was he took his eye off of it because he's in between. He's trying to say, let me point the visual for you. I mean, you're watching the game, so I'm not doing it on the radio. You're watching the game. In his mind, I can tell you what he's thinking. Yeah, there was a bit of an obscure view with the umpire. Work around it and make the play, number 1. Number 2, based on where he was in relation to second, he's processing in his mind, am I flipping underhand, or am I just going to go, basically he was 2 steps away from the bag, step on the bag, and then fire a dime to first and make 2. And he did neither instead. I mean, so there's a fastball fouled away upstairs, 0-2. Bases juiced here, 1 out. I mean, it's the last thing you need for a guy who's trying to figure things out, come back from injury, get the pitch count up. I mean, he's already, 32 pitches in the bottom of the second inning. And he's not even out of this. It's a big spot. I'll get back to that point about Cam in a moment. Here's the 0-2. Bases loaded. Rodon at the belt. The pitch upstairs, a little show-me four-seamer, and that misses. So what I was saying, like, I get it if you want to sit a young pitcher, those benchmarks, those incremental, yearly workups, like, all right, he threw 140 innings in the minors 1 year. You're not going to go to 210. You're not going to be reckless when he comes up to the show. The pitch, that's a good pitch right there. It's got to be a slider. That's a beautiful pitch. That is a vintage Carlos Rodon slider. Late dive right at the back ankle. Absolutely beautiful. Swung right over the top. Presents itself as a fastball. Late dive. Gorgeous. Let's see if he can wiggle out of this. And then I'll get back to the Max Fried stuff. Here's Jackson Holiday. It's funny. A lot of these young players that are supposed to be supers. That's a beautiful pitch as well. Nice. Floats it in there, a slider. So he throws the slider to the righty, which dives at the back ankle. And then he I could not hit it as a lefty hitter. If it's a good slider, it's tough. That was a beauty. Yeah, I don't know how you don't kind of pull that front shoulder and yank away from it. Here's the 0-1. Good pitch. Popped up. Going to probably make the seats. McMahon with the chase. That's out of play. 2 strikes. Yeah. So now let's see how sharp he is here. He's trying to work around Jazz Chisholm. I can't anymore. I'd rather play Volpe at second base. He is a space cadet. He really is. He's just, whether it's getting picked off, not knowing how many outs there were the other night, he's a clown. He's just a clown. Here's the pitch. Rodon gets the sign at the belt. 0-2. Oh, that's got to be a strike. You're not challenging that? That's not a strike? Wait a second. I didn't see. Okay, I was going to say somebody had a tap. Yeah, that's a strike. Sit down. That's a great job by Carlos Rodon. That is a monster. I didn't understand. If you guys are watching it, and you are, I didn't see, unless he said it, but I didn't see Austin Wells make any signal, but they went right to. Anyway, that's why I was confused. Beautiful pitch, top of the zone, clips the corner, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, sit down. But I mean, that's the kind of thing. Now, anybody can make an error, obviously, guys. Ozzie Smith made errors. Jeter made errors. I mean, A-Rod made errors. You could be an all-time, Cal Ripken made errors. Keith Hernandez made a couple. Donnie made a couple at first. Not many, but a couple. I mean, they're human. They're not robots. But, that's what I'm not even worried about it. I know what's going to happen at the most inopportune time with Jazz Chisholm. He is going to do something stupid during a game in a moment where you have to be locked in, and he's going to be floating in space thinking about Lord knows what, and it's going to really hurt the Yankees. And their margin for error with the lack of offense they're trotting out is basically invisible. So that's a great job, though, by Rodon. Wow. Thinking about the track list for his next Jazz thinking about the track. I don't know what he's thinking about, but you got to make that play. And let's see if the Yankees offense can get cooking a little bit here. Let's see what they got. I didn't even give you the batting order. I had to jump in early. I had to jump in late after the Jet show. Gisham 1, can't stand him as a leadoff hitter. Rice, number 2, where he should be, not a leadoff man. Elio Ramos is batting 3rd. I have no idea why he's even playing, but he is. Garcia 4, Spencer Jones in the 5 spot. Chisholm, by the way, he struck out his first at bat. Jazz Chisholm batting a robust 216 with an astonishing 681 OPS. Wow. Lumbard with the whiff. He's in the 7 hole. McMahon 8, Austin Wells 9. Not exactly a lineup that you're going to expect a whole lot from. Look at that. Lou Gehrig, Cal Ripken, the Iron Horse. I love when they do this. Yes does a great job of this, and they just did Clyde Frazier and Earl the Pearl when Pearl was on the Bullets, and that was before he came for the second championship in 1973. Listen, I do understand because I see this with some of the kids I coach. Sometimes the umpires, they just stand in the wrong spot. And I always tell my kids, if you can't see, ask politely, please tell the umpire to move. So I got to put that on Jazz because Jazz, it's not like Jazz on that ball had to move 5 feet to his right, and that's where the umpire was. Jazz was pretty much stationed there, and it was an atom ball. It was hit right at him, which means the umpire was right there, which means the onus and the responsibility is on Jazz to say, Blue, whatever, Mike, Joe, Tony, Blue, whatever you want to call. Hey, Mike, just give me a little step. Good pitch, strike 1. Here's McMahon. Who's been decent after a rough start. The first month was awful. Here's the play. Yeah, he's right in his view. I mean, that is 100% on Jazz Chisholm. And I don't care how much he flails his arms or what excuse he makes after the game. That's a nasty pitch. He misses it by a mile. I mean, how do you? He does swing and miss a lot, McMahon. That is 100% the responsibility is on the second baseman. Jay, you're watching the game, right? I know you're doing the show. You got the game on?
Come on, of course I do. I'm like, it's almost too opportune. We dropped the vid last night, and then that happens right when we bang up the stream.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I know that vid's done pretty well, by the way. I got what 17,000 views. I don't know, something like that. Starting to get a little growth here. Here's an inside fastball. Did that hit the line? That's a foul ball. Let's get a little replay there.
Clearly, people feel a similar way about Mr. Chisholm. Clearly,
I don't know how you defend him. Listen, there was a point.
At this point.
I think it's impossible. I think it's blind. If you defend Jazz Chisholm at this point, you're not watching Jazz Chisholm enough, or you are just truly enamored. Here's the 0-2 to McMahon after the foul down the left field line. Kind of flipped it out there. Pitch upstairs and a little bit inside. That's going to miss 1-2. You are either not watching the Yankees on a regular basis because you don't see the mental mistakes and the gap, not to mention the physical ones as well, or you're just so beholden to, and I'm going to give them this, an overwhelming array of physical gifts. Missed that by a mile. Strike 3, sit down. What else is new? That you're leaning on and holding on to something that was a pretty nasty pitch, but still it swings right over. He had to miss that ball by 10 inches minimum. Swings right over the top of it. And a little bit out in front there. I mean, I'm not saying that's an easy pitch, and I know I'm going to make everything seem easy sitting here, but you're a major league hitter. I mean, here's Austin Wells digging in, batting $179. I mean, it's bad enough when you're hitting 179 and it's May 4th. It's a Kentucky Derby weekend. Get ready for Labor Day, and he's hitting 179. My God, and he's been better lately. He was in the 160s for a while. Man, oh man. Here's Wells 0-1. Here's a reality. Volpe's batting. I got to put the glass on for this one. That's a good pitch. Did it get the top? I thought that was a strike. Maybe it did miss. All right. Reality. Volpe's hitting 25 points higher. He's on base 30 points higher and 95 points higher than Jazz with runners in scoring position. Yeah, Volpe, it's funny. As much as Volpe's had a rough year and all the stuff that's, been that's another swing and a miss right over the top. That knuckle curve is nasty. I don't know how pitchers throw. Mike Mussina was great with this. Garrett Cole's got a knuckle curve. I mean, you've got to have such big hands to throw. It's one thing to throw a knuckleball like Phil Niekro, and just kind of Charlie Huff just float it out there, right? But how do you throw a knuckle curve with anything, with any sort of velo? Here's the pitch outside. All right, so Wells is working the count, 2-2. It's easy, and it's mostly accurate. I mean, Volpe just has not done enough this year to merit a spot on the major league roster, let alone playing shortstop. That's obviously Lumbard's job. But he has gotten on base at a higher clip. The 2-2, and that's popped up, got under it. Little can of corn, shallow center, and it'll be another out. 2 outs. I mean, the Yankees aren't hitting anything with authority at this point, which is frustrating. He's pretty nasty, this dude. I mean, he's got his stuff, man. I mean, you look. I was doing the Jet show. I did not. I saw Lombard's at bat, but I mean, Jazz missed that by a foot. Wells missed it by a foot. McMahon missed. Sometimes you got to give credit. I mean, Shane Bass is throwing. Gets 6 strikeouts. 6. I mean, Yanks. How about somebody? I don't know. Drop down a bunt. Try to make it. That'll never happen. But I mean, we just go from 170 to 203 to 220 as Trent Grisham digs in. I'm just not a Trent Grisham guy. You know that by now. That's a good pitch. Strike 1. Not a whole lot of offense here at the yard thus far, folks. Here's the 0-1 at the belt and the delivery. That's one you got to rock. You got to rock that. Let's go. And that's a mistake. That is a mistake by a guy who has been on top of his game. That's a solo shot. Cranks it out to right. We got to lay it on a little bit. J-Rod, a home run. Grisham tattoos one to right. And the Yankees take a 1-0 lead. 17th bomb of the season there for Trent, number 12.
Come on now. Give this guy some good luck. I'm
going to give him respect, but I'm still not a big fan. Listen, I've said this a million times. If he was hitting in the 7th spot, he's a 7 hitter for a team that's trying to win a championship, not a leadoff man. It's just not. I know he drops against lefties. I love the Yankee celebration, by the way. No stupid gimmicks, no pitchfork, no sports coats like Toronto, no stupid chains. Just run down the dugout and just dap it up. I want to see that replay because that was a mistake. You talk about mistakes. Here's the pitch to Ben Rice upstairs. Yanks lead 1-0. You're going to get it right here. This is a fastball middle in, and boy, oh boy, did he crush that. Look at him fixing that helmet as he rocks it. He's got one of the ugliest swings in baseball. Was that out on Utah Street? It may have been. 1-0 to Rice, swing and a miss. Another knuckle curve, it looked like. That was dancing down low and inside. Yeah, I mean, Grisham's got a swing and an approach that I simply don't trust. And he's not there. He's one of the, actually, he is metrically rated. Here's the pitch to Big Benny. A little low, 2-1, hitters count, driver's seat, get something you could do with, do a little damage with here. It's really one of the ugliest swings. It's actually fugly. It's not even ugly. It's fugly. It's like this choppy, truncated half swing. But when he hits him, he blisters him. Here's the pitch to Rice. Fouled off his foot, 2-2. Jay, that had to be it was onto Utah Street. Have you been to Camden Yards, Jay?
Have not. I need to make it out there.
It's beautiful. I've been there a couple times, like Yankee playoff games in the 90s. I went there in it's been a minute. I was there in 99. I told you I almost caught Cal Ripken's 399th home run. I told you that story.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. Here's the 2-2 to Rice. The stretch, the pitch. Upstairs, got in his kitchen, popped up. That's an easy one to shortstop. That'll be the 3rd out. But the Yankees tack on a run. Yankees score a run as Trent Grisham finds the street out of Baltimore, downtown Baltimore. That was a pretty swing. What was the exit velo on that? Can you tell me?
Yeah, let's see.
I'm going to guess that was about 112. That had some sizzle, man. He knew it. It was middle in, letter, just not quite letter high, more like around the belt, and he absolutely barreled that. He rocked that ball. That had to be a pretty high exit velo. I'm going to say 111, 112. As you're looking that up. BT, love the stream. Appreciate that, Taylor. Thank you very much. Do or die the postseason. Do I have more trust in Rodon or Weathers to start? That's a really good question. Now, it might not matter. That this all depends upon what's up with Max Fried, and I started to say, obviously going to have some interruptions. I'm doing the game, not a talk show or not a regular content show. It's about the game tonight, but kind of weave in and out of stories, so I'm going to have to pick stuff up. There is a thought that, maybe the Yankees are pulling a page out of the Dodgers textbook, make sure all the big guns are ready for October, rest guy. But again, I don't, and I know Michael didn't really float that out directly, Michael K, and he's obviously piped in. So, and you'd have to think there's some merit there. If the Yankees are doing that, I would actually disagree with the Yankees doing that. I'm not even saying I disagree with whatever Michael asserted, although if I did disagree, I certainly would say it, even though Mike's my guy. I don't understand, why would that be the plan? He missed enough time. It's not like he's on pace for 190 innings like last year, which was, I believe, a career high. He hasn't thrown a lot of innings this year. He's been shut down. He's just building himself back up. After, 5 starts, you'd have to think he's pretty much in tune. You're going to sit him down, then you're going to have to ramp him back up. I don't get that. So anyway, to answer the question, but just to get there, I mean, you know what? I might say Weathers here because I've seen Rodon in a big spot, and I don't trust him in a big spot. I think he's better than some people. I don't mean against the Jays a year ago. Heel got rocked. He got rocked. Fried didn't have it. Everybody got rocked. But I give Carlos Rodon more respect than many of you because, outside of this year, he's had back-to-back years, the 2 previous seasons where he's made 32 and 33 starts. He's given the Yankees over those 2 years almost 400 innings. I know, the win stat is antiquated and obviously a measurement of team success, but he has he's given his team a chance to win. He's had a lot of quality starts. He's just not a top of the rotation guy. Like, you're not going to win a World Series or really anything if Rodon's your ace. And the beautiful part about it is he's not. Oh, my boy Pete Alonso digs in. Miss you, Pete. There's the 0-2. Pete,
101 points
on that.
101.4 was the exit velo.
1014?
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Chad. I would have thought it would be a little bit higher than that, but thank you for that. As my stat guy dives in. Here's the 1-2 from Rodon. Did he get the corner? Did not. It's a good take there by Pete. Oh, yeah, by the way, how's Pete Alonso doing this year? Let me check. Oh, he's doing well. What a stunner. Listen, I was okay with moving on for, I don't know if there's any Met fans here, but boy, oh boy, watching Pete do what he's doing. Here's the 2-2. Oh, that ball was hanging up there. He may have gotten away with one there. That was kind of floating in that zone. That did not have a real deep break to it. Let's see. Oh, that ball's got to be crushed. He missed it. And Rodon, no, you can tell by his reaction. Anyway, you take it. Yanks up 1-0, 1 out. Bottom 3 at Camden, out in Baltimore. I mean, he's got an 850, 860 OPS. He's going to have 40 home runs. He's going to have 100 and something ribbies. Plays every day. All right, so he's not Hernandez at first base, But the Pete Alonso stuff is just really interesting to me because, I never fluctuated. I know Met fans didn't really hear this when I was saying this on the Fan. I always showed Pete respect. Met fans, and I always said he was a very good player, Met fans weren't able to truly decipher what I was saying and separate what I was saying with what they thought I was saying. Like, they thought I was hating on the Mets. They thought I was hating on Pete. It had nothing to do with that. And there's a good pitch as well on the corner. 4-seamer. What was the velo? 96, 97? All right, so the radar looks pretty good so far. He's, I think he's going to give up a home run or two pretty soon. He's gotten away with a couple of pitches that they've missed. There's a strike as well. Swing and a miss right by him. 2-2. Rodon. But those are two very different things. Like, I never once disparaged Pete as a player. I may have said, all right, he's not a superstar. That's a nasty freaking slider. Wow. The slider's cooking tonight. He's gotten away with a couple of 4-seamers that are kind of over and that one slider, I think it was a slider to Pete. That is filthy. No one's touching that. Nice job there by Rodon. Hopefully he has a quick inning, keep that pitch count down. Kobe Mayo's going to dig in here. 212, 16 bombs, and OPS, a little bit over 7. But I can't imagine. It's one thing if you're a Mets fan. I know the Mets are playing good baseball, but they're playing good baseball now when it doesn't matter. But imagine, like, it's two very distinctly different things. Like the season's been a train wreck, and Pete's playing really well, and the dudes playing first base for the Mets have been awful. Awful. I mean, Polanco hasn't worked out. Young's got a little bit of juice, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that the Mets had to break up the core. Now, I'm not going to make this about the Mets here, but with Alonso digging in, he's had a really good year. But even if you take all of those numbers for Pete, 850-something OPS, that ball's ripped down the line. Did he get it? Does it hook? Does it stay? That's God, I think. Is that off the ball? God, I told you he was going to give up a home run. I told you. Listen, dude, I know the game. I don't know how else to tell you, man. I don't know what other shows you're watching, but this is the show that you got to watch. I don't know who you're listening to pretending they know baseball. I actually know the game. You can see it coming a mile away. Nice swing right there. Now, I couldn't see because I don't have my glasses on, Jay, as I get a little self-deprecating here after the pompous statement. Did that hit the pole?
The crystal ball. No, I think it curved just inside.
It just inside.
Yeah.
That, and truth of the matter is, to be fair, it wasn't a horrible pitch. It wasn't like a flat slider that I thought Alonso could have handled, or changeup that's up. Let's see. He's on it. Yeah, it definitely caught too much of the plate. He had to be looking slider. You could tell. Look at the lean. Look at the bend. Look at how we went and got it. Good answer. May have guessed there. All right, so 1 for 1 in terms of predictions. 1 for 1 in terms of predictions. So if you're in the prediction market, probably smart to throw a little something my way here. Yes. You haven't seen anything yet, man. I can't wait. I'm not talking about prediction. I'm talking about doing these games. That's probably going to flare as a base hit. Does he have it? I can't stand him in the left field. Ramos, that's an easy play. Got it on the fist there. So Rodon gives up the jack. Yankees, a little jack fest here. 1-1 as we go. Pretty smooth moving game. Top 4. I want to go through Lumbard's at bat with you. Hopefully Lumbard does something here. I can't wait for these playoff games. It is going to be and wait till we do the Jets, Jay. I'll be out of my mind, bro.
Oh, the Jets is going to be absolutely ridiculous. I can't wait for that, bro. Because
now, what is that? Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
I've seen the post-game reactions. I can't even imagine the mid-game reaction from
the real-time stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be cooking, man. It is going to be cooking. Carlos Rodon. I mean, come on. I mean, cute. All right. A little witty. Another, I've heard that before. This is what I mean. I mean, the guy's an above average major league pitcher. He's not Ron Guidry. He's not Andy Pettit. He's never going to be one of those dudes. He's not even going to be what he was in San Francisco or Chicago, when he had Cy Young seasons. But, I mean, for where he is, how many years does he have? I think he's got 3 years left on his deal. I'm going to look that up. That's the problem with glasses. You got to flick the stupid hat around. What a pain in the ass. I got to get this laser surgery. Sal had it done. But I don't know. I thought the laser surgery was more for distance.
Same. I didn't know you could do it for nearsightedness.
I don't think that you can. But then again, it would help me on the golf course as well.
Yeah, there you
go. Not that I'm drilling the ball 300 yards. It's not that hard for me to find it. Anyway, I think he's got 3 years to go. I mean, you can clown Carlos Rodon if you want, but you cannot say that it was an irresponsible contract by the Yankees. Guys, I'm going to give you splits here. So, in Chicago, 7 years with the White Sox, his ERA was 3.79, and with the Yankees, it's 3.93. All right, obviously a tick higher here. What about the whip? Where's the whippy? Whippy's on the right side. His whip is actually lower because he's gotten better control. I got to fix these glasses too. His whip in Chicago, 1.295, as Ramos digs in, who hasn't done a damn thing since they got him. Ugh. I mean, I don't know why Dominguez is not playing. I don't know why this dude's playing over Dominguez. I don't get it. He's not a good fielder. He can't run. At least Dominguez could run. At least Dominguez was showing a little propensity to figure things out from the right side. Here's the pitch. Splashes one the other way, foul on a little curveball. All right, what's Rodon doing here? Booney with the tap on the S. Was he done? No, there's no way he's done. And the whip is actually lower with the Yankees than it was with the White Sox. Now, he only spent 1 year at the Giants, and it was a great year, so his numbers are better in San Francisco. But I wanted to see the contract. Here's the 0-2 to Ramos as the sign pitch calm. Here's the pitch upstairs and way outside. Ramos almost offered at it, and that's 1-2. So let's see if we can. I'm not trying to predict, but this is what I love about baseball. I do this with my son. I did this when he was a kid, really, really young. I mean, still a kid. Upstairs hard. How about low and away or soft and away? Outside, that is a perfect paint pitch right there. 97, basically on the black. I was surprised he went up hard and then low hard. Look at that. Dots the corner. 97. Sit down. I mean, a lot of guys have taken that. Let's see. Although a lot of guys aren't hitting 0-90 for their new team. And Garcia got off to a good start. He's not doing a whole lot either. Let me just get the answer to the contract thing. I keep belaboring this. So he's only got 2 years to go. All right. Yeah. So 2023 was pretty much a disaster. 2024 was pretty good. 2025 was pretty good. 2026, that's where we're at. And he's got 2027, 2028 at $27 million a pop. Here's Garcia, the pitch right down the chute. Strike one, 1-1. I do like Garcia. I know the numbers. He's going to hit. He's going to hit a couple of bombs in the postseason or an opposite field double, in the gap that splits a couple of defenders, that drives in a couple of runners. Like, he's going to hit some. I like him. I do like him. But I don't know why. I don't know why Dominguez is not in left field. Get a look at Spencer Jones. That wacky stance. That's never going to make me feel comfortable. I mean, I don't know. I'm curious how much more runway Ramos gets to figure things out. And by the way, why is he not batting eighth? And you have to put him in the top of the order. Here's the 1-2 to Garcia, upstairs and fouled, swiped down the left side. I enjoy doing this, calling these games, Jay. I really do. It's fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. Now we have the ability to maybe we'll work in a little bit of low music. I mean, because I remember we tried to do that once and you said it interfered.
Well, here, I mean, honestly, I guess this is a decent place to test it out if we
fuck
wanted
around.
to.
Try
right
it.
now.
Who cares? Try
Let's
it.
See.
Give it a shot. Who gives a
All
shit? Sounds good. Keep it. If it sounds terrible, get rid of it.
Let me see if it messes with the
Just
mic.
make sure it's nothing trademarked. You know that.
No,
you know what
of
you're
course,
looking
of
for.
course,
One
of
the
course.
issues with got to follow the rules here, of course. Here's the two.
Also, let me
just
just
young.
chat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put. Let me know if it messes with the mic at all.
Here's the 2-2. That is lofted out towards left. Can of corn. You guys hear me okay? Maybe a little lower.
Here. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Keep talking.
Yeah, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right, so it's 1-1. We got 1-1 here as Spencer Jones
No, I can hear
digs
you
in.
fine now, actually.
All right.
It works. All right.
All right,
New
give it a shot.
new
209 on the
element
year. 676 OPS, couple of home runs. That big, strong, lanky physique, 6'5", long levers, and he's hit a couple. He still has not hit the kind of home run that he is going to hit very soon. And I think it's going to come this series. He's going to hit a home run in this ballpark where it goes either off the warehouse. By the way, I went to a wedding in that warehouse. Jay, did you know that? Went to a wedding in that warehouse. The warehouse in Camden in right field.
Oh, that's sweet.
The
Was
big
it
warehouse,
like somebody affiliated with the team?
No. It was my ex-girlfriend's friend getting married. She was from Maryland and went down there. And I just remember, it's great. I think the Orioles were on the road and just looking out at the warehouse to the stadium. Gorgeous. Really cool venue. Here's the pitch. This drives me nuts, dude. Can you get a freaking helmet that fits you? It happens every game.
It's every game almost. I'm surprised. I know they can't invent this because it's a little too goofy. He should be wearing like a military helmet
a
strap or something, like a strap.
Yeah. This is going to be soft and low, I would imagine. Here's the 1-2. Soft and low, strike 3. Good night. Beautiful pitch. Yeah. That's a beautiful pitch. I'm going to stand by it. He is going to rock one off the warehouse in the next. That's a Gordon. Not even. That's obviously a strike. They challenge that. See, that is just an asinine challenge. I know he's young. He's figuring things out. Dude, I mean, it's not even That's just an idiotic challenge. It's just, I want to know, like in all seriousness, I got to ask Booney this. I want to know, like, really, truly, like, what kind of latitude do the players have? Like, I know you go through the meetings, the pre-game meetings, the hitters, the pitchers, right? Scouting reports, charts, all the things that they do that none of us see, but it's very extensive, right? I mean, it has to be communicated before. Hey, guys, unless there's a couple of guys on a high leverage spot in terms of not late, but close game, couple of on, whatever. The situation. That's one thing. But like if we're challenging with nobody on base and it's within the first 4 or 5 innings and we're up a run, we're down a run, it's tied, just save it. Now, what will be the instruction during the playoffs? I can't imagine that they're going to have the free reign that they have now, which is why I would implement it now so that they start getting used to it, because there's going to have to be a recalibration because we've seen this a couple of times, and it happened with Dominguez, twice to Dominguez with the same umpire. Remember that? I think it happened the last live stream we were doing with the Yankees-Rays game. I'm almost positive that was one. Yes, that was one of them when Cam Schlittler threw that gem on like a Monday or a Tuesday night before the final week going into the All-Star break. So if you are programmed to have to tap your helmet immediately to let the umpire know that you want to challenge the pitch, if it's not going to be that way in October when the stakes are greater, and, maybe, all right, Aaron Judge, if he's back, he can do whatever he wants. You want to give Benny Rice that, okay, maybe Bellinger, guys who have earned it. But, like, if I see McMahon or if I see Austin Wells or, if I see some of the Ramos tapping and it's the first, second, third inning, I'm going to lose my mind, especially if it's not even close. Like, that was 85 to 90% of the baseball was actually clipping red. I mean, it barely, it wasn't even close. I don't know what Boone's going to do with that. But if it's me, I'm telling 4 or 5 guys every night, don't do it unless, we get to a certain point in the game. But I say, all right, now we're free to do it. The Gotham Sports app, that seems to get rave reviews. Everybody just complains about that. I have no experience with it. I'm still old school. I got my remote. I got my 9 gazillion channels. Here's the pitch from Rodon upstairs. And that's the way I like it. That's the way that's what I'm used to. Yeah, probably wasted a few bucks here, but I love channel surfing, and I've got all the streaming mechanisms, but I need the channels. There's a play. Come on, Lumbard. Let's see it. Let's see the play. Let's go, kid. Let's go. Lumbard from the hole. Georgie Juice. He's a stud. He's a stud. Look at Georgie. Quick to his right. Let's see. 1, 2, 2-hopper, plant, didn't even really get his balance, didn't even have to really scoop it. He probably had a little bit more time. He's awesome. When he was throwing the ball, he wasn't, look at Rodon. He's like, dude, this kid's freaking unreal, man. Thank God you're playing shortstop. When he threw the ball, he wasn't even really looking at first base. I don't want to rewind it because then I'm behind and what I'm talking about, you're not necessarily watching. We got to figure that stuff out there, Jay. What we're going to do when we actually do launch this, there's a mechanism. Jared, can you explain this actually? I think it's a good time to do it, where basically we sync it up at the start and everybody knows everybody's where I am. How does that work?
What we'll do is basically we'll have a live scoreboard following where you're watching during the game. So the scoreboard will be updating live continuously where you're watching.
Got it. Here's the 0-2 from bounces one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I guess in theory, it's pretty difficult to have people watching simultaneously because, like, I guess the same time frame on TV. Because, like, I'm watching Gotham Sports, but I'm on the computer. When you're watching cable,
I know,
probably at the height. You might even be a little behind right now, but like you can be at the most live it can possibly be.
Okay. Well, I even notice in our home, right? Like sometimes I'm going to tell you how many TVs we actually have in our home. I'm going to take you through this. You want your head to spin? This is the amount of TVs.
Trust me, but listen, I had a bunch growing up. So.
Popped up, by the way. Hang on. That's a tough play. He's got it. That's not a tough play. My bad. Don't ask Garcia to go out there and get that one again, right? So we've got, I know we had I mean, my dad, if my grandfather was still here, he'd lose his mind. Rest in peace, and God bless his soul. Just old school Italian complaint. You getting what for Christmas? How much shit do the kids? That's how we would talk. It didn't smoke either. How much shit do the kids need? What are we doing? What's going on? Like, he complained about everything, right? Because, he grew up, his parents were, and even though he was born in the States, like, he literally, when he was a young boy, would go down to the tracks and have to shovel coal to bring home 10, 12 cents to the family. That's the way it was with a lot of the immigrants, talking about depression, 1929, slightly before, slightly thereafter, obviously. Anyway, he would lose his mind if he knew how many TVs we have. So we've got one in my home office, one in the family room by the fireplaces, two. We've got one in the children in our kids' playroom, which is like half a basketball court, Nerf basket, all sorts of shit everywhere. My daughter made a beautiful little nail salon in the corner with her friend's nails, and she got a little business. All right, so that's three. We've got one outside underneath the patio. That's four.
Man, okay.
We've got one in the bedroom in the basement. That's five. We've got a big one in the man cave basement. That's six. We've got one in the loft where we have like the books. When the kids were real little, we'd read to them every night. Now they read on their own when they do it. That's seven. Then the guest room upstairs is eight. In our bedroom, that's nine. And there's a chance I'm missing one. I don't think so. That's nine. 9 TVs, dude. So sometimes, even though it's all under the same cable provider, I do notice, to your point, if one of the kids leaves something on in the playroom, which is obviously upstairs, not the playroom, the loft or the playroom, I guess, I'll hear it bleed in if they're on a different channel. My wife's watching the news or she's watching whatever. I don't know, NFL. Did he get that? Did he get that on the barrel? No, I don't think. Is that gone? He's going to have room there. He's going to have room. He's got it. Boom. Nice. Just missed it. All right. Holes in it at the track. So Rodon averts getting taken deep for the second time tonight. Yankees 1-1. And they're coming up. Jazz, Lumbard, and McMahon. So that's a lot of TVs. And I'll notice that sometimes if we then do have the same thing on, like say my son's watching like the Little League World Series and I've got that on in here, sometimes it's like 1 or 2 seconds off, even though it's the same cable provider. I don't know why. So I don't know. We'll figure out the streaming live thing as we move along. Anyway, 9 TVs, dude. At least the good thing about TVs, Jay, I mean, they're not really that expensive.
No, that's what I was gonna say. It's not crazy. And listen, if you know a dude who works at Best Buy, come on now, you're straight.
That's where I usually got a lot of stuff.
This might be more ridiculous.
Yeah,
growing up in my living room,
so,
since my brother and I, we were like, playing Mad Xbox, playing whatever, 2K, Madden, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
We would set up 2 TVs in the same room, 2 separate Xboxes, and then my dad would be watching like whatever NFL on the big TV, and so we'd have 3 TVs in one room. And just like Xbox here,
old school.
Ridiculous.
Now that's the old school way of having a few things to look at, whether it's a game that you're playing on the system or watching like the Yankees and the Mets or the Jets and the Giants, whatever it might be, red zone. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, I left out 2 TVs. So we're at 9. We're at 9. We had one in the we have one in the workout room, which is down in the basement. So that's 10. Okay. And then I guess we had an old one that may have been initially outside or whatever it was. And then my son brought that out and they play. Sometimes they play video games on it if he's got a couple of buddies over in the basement. Okay, and that's now 11. Like it was stored. Now it's back out. It's under the big TV, like the 65-incher in the basement. And then underneath it, he's got a little, like a smaller one. So yeah, 10 functional ones, and then 11, depending upon if he's playing video games with it, which isn't that often down there.
Ridiculous.
Jesus, 11 TVs. Come on. All right, here's Jazz. I'm sure he'll annoy me here. Wait, did he get that? Nope, just missed it in the gap. Pretty good swing there. And I'm not trying to be unfair to Jazz. I'm not trying to crush him unnecessarily. That's a good swing right there. And listen, if I didn't expect more out of Jazz Chisholm, I don't think that I would be so frustrated with Jazz Chisholm. Like, why get frustrated with something or somebody if they're not capable of doing more? Like, isn't that the greatest frustration when somebody's underachieving? And especially when they said before the start of the season, they're going to go 50-50, and just find the show on the channel. Just dig through the library here on Unleashed. I told you, I said, he's going to have a horrendous season. It's already planted in his head to get that big contract, which he's never going to get. Not what he thought he was. Hold on, Lumbard's up. The world stops spinning. We focus on the prodigy. Get back to Jazz in a minute. 1-0 to Lumbard here. Here's the pitch. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Attaboy. Let's go, Lumby. Little 5 knocker the other way. All right. I mean, that ball was
incredible.
I mean, that ball wasn't even hit hard. I'm surprised that ball wasn't stopped. Now, even if it's caught, Lumbard gets down the line. Great. How many hops here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that first hop was a long one, so it kind of scooted. Now I want to see him run. That's a weird dive, too. You got to dive the other way. I know that was a weird dive. So, yeah. All right. At first I thought it was like a cheap little broken bat. Not bad. And his ability to hit the right field's nice. There's a curve. What is that? Knuckle curve inside. All right, let's go, McMahon. 215 on the year. Strikeout in the third here. Yanks have been punched out a lot tonight. I want to see him go. Like, I know we got thrown out the first time he tried to steal. He had one over the weekend in Toronto. I don't want that to deter him. He has plus speed. Send him. Run. Make things happen. Be proactive. He's 21 years of age. I want to see what he ran the 60 in, by the way, because I could go to his perfect game profile. I'm going to guess he's got to be about 6'5" change. 6'5'3". George, let me first see what Lumbard does. Send him. 1-1. He's throwing a lot of knuckle curves. Let's go. It's a good pitch to run on. Let's go. Put him in motion. A fastball and a sinker inside. And fastball, basically. All right, George Lumbard, perfect game. So that's how they measure. I mean, football, if you watch many of you know this, but many of the football times are obviously with the in the 40. Baseball's in the 60. And obviously you want to get a time on players home to first, home to third on triples. Like Spencer Jones made it like an 11.3. De La Cruz, like some crazy wit, right around 11 seconds. Those are just those are insane numbers. But I'm going to say that Lumbard was about a 6'5", 60, if that's my guess. Hold on, I might have to plug into something else here. Yeah, he's throwing that knuckle. That's a great pitch to run on. Now that he's behind in the count, he'll probably throw a fastball, so you might not run here. Watch, he'll run. But I don't know why he's anchored to the bag. Let's go. How about a little hit and run? McMahon's a guy that can kind of slap it the other way. How about dropping that a bunt? Here's the 3-1. 1-1 is the score. And set at the belt, the pitch. McMahon fouled upstairs, out of play. George Lumbard. I'm going to go to his perfect game database, which is, I love looking at this stuff. I looked at Lindor. I looked at Volpe. I looked at Pete Alonso. I looked at Bellinger. Every player that is like under the age of 35 played perfect game. And it gives you the entire database of all their exit velocity. Like, I'm obviously geeking out here, but it tells you George Lumbard, his national ranking at the time of his senior year. All right, fouled on the knuckle curve, tapped outside the first base bag. He was the 16th overall rated player in the country. He was the 5th overall rated player in the state of Florida, and he was the 6th overall shortstop in the country. All right. Now wow, I nailed it to a T. Now, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to be pompous. 6.53 is what he ran the 60 in. That's upstairs. All right. First and second, one down. Yanks got a little something cooking, and the O's going to talk this over. And, 6.5 speed is when I was playing, like in the mid-90s and like even a little bit into the later 90s, the average major league 60-yard dash, 60, was 7 flat. Now the average major league 60 is inside of 7, not significantly, but you do have a couple of guys running 6.38s, the occasional 6.4. So like 6.5 is not like necessarily like Deion Sanders, but 6.5 speed is plus. And I don't know why he's not running more. I'm going to read you his from one of the national showcase. I love this as Wells digs in. George Lumbard's a 2023 shortstop, second baseman, 6'3", 190-pound frame from Florida. Posted a 6'5", 360. Long and lean build with a high waist. They look for that. It's a good pitch. That's got to be the knuckle curve. These knuckle curves nasty. With a high waist, they like that. Boomers talks about the high. Phil Sims talks about the big ass and the high waist. He doesn't have a big ass, but he's got a high waist. Plenty of athleticism and lots of room to project. Here's the 0-1 to Austin Wells. Good layoff right there. Good take. Spits on the knuckle curve inside in the dirt. 1-1. First and second, one out. Tied score. Primary shortstop with a hyper quick release and extraordinarily smooth hands. Good lateral agility to both sides with the arm strength. He's going to play at a very high level, 85 plus across the diamond. Here's the pitch. Wells couldn't get inside on that four-seamer. Got in his kitchen a little bit. Good balance, great body control, and arm plays up due to release. Right-handed hitter, straight stance, loose, extended swing, plus bat speed. Finishes uphill through contact, really strong hands and barrel accuracy. So his barrel's, laying in the zone long enough to, barrel more balls than not. Has present juice, and this is a couple of years ago. It's from 2022. Suggest higher power coming. Here's the 1-2 to Austin Wells. First and second, one out. Good speed excellent speed on second. Popped up. That's going to be in play, and that's going to be to first base. What else is new? Wells does nothing. 2 out. Plus bat finishes high, solid, blah, blah, blah. Has present juice and frame suggests bigger power coming. Low tension swing, which means he's nice and loose. Yeah, he's not like rigid and stiff, which is good. Same with the golf swing. If you're gripping that handle, that's probably not good. It's definitely not good. Same with baseball. Same with throwing a baseball. Like if the grip pressure is too intense, you're going to actually get less revolutions. You're going to throw softer rather than harder. It's counterintuitive. Anyway, performed well all summer. Terrific student. Verbal commitment. That's got to be up at the zone a little bit. Here's Trent Grisham. Went yard his last at bat. Terrific student. Verbal to Vanderbilt. Named to the 2022 PG All-American Classic. And how about this? So at the time that he took this, for his class, high school, class of 2023, he ran a 6'5", 360, and he was in the 98.3 percentile in the entire country for everybody that plays perfect game, and every good player at some point plays perfect game. So he flies. So what I'm saying is, let's let him loose a little bit here, Bodie. Let's go. Let's run. Here's the pitch to Grisham. Did he get that? No, just off the end of the bat. That's a can of corn. Yanks leave a couple stranded. So Yankees don't pick up anything despite posing a threat. You got to speak like the board, posing a threat, Anyway, you got to come on, get some clutch hits, man. At least the Yanks are having better at bats. Like, I had 6 strikeouts in the first couple of innings here. And we'll see where Rodon is pitch count wise and all that other stuff. Let me get off of this page. Let me get back to the broadcast here. BT, did you tinker with your? Did I tinker with my stance a lot? Honestly, and I say this like this is true. I still wouldn't have made it. I'm not implying that remotely at all. But if I didn't try to be Mattingly, I actually think I would have been better. Like I was so in love with, not that I did it all the time, but I was so in love with his just this thing that he did with his shoulder, that I would do that one. I would do that against lefties. I would do that again because I remember watching a Met. This is ridiculous how my mind works. I remember watching a Met game during the 86 season, and Darryl was up, right? And Keith Hernandez was on second base. And this was like in that Mets video, A Year to Remember, with the music video from 86. And Keith, you see Keith at second, and Darryl's in the box, and Keith is imploring him. He's like, keep that shoulder in, because I guess he's yanking it on the breaking ball, and he's flying open. He's pulling out, right? Pulling off the ball. And my buddy Rob, one of my best friends, great guy, who I went to high school with, good ball player, went to Marist, played for a year, then wound up transferring to George Washington. I remember he would do that to me in summer ball. We didn't get to play together too much at Marist, but if he was on second, he usually hit in front of me. And if I was having an issue with the lefty, if he saw me flying open, he would do the same thing. And I would kind of almost over accentuate it. I don't know why, but I did. It didn't really work that much. But No, I pretty much had the same stance, pretty upright, pretty, loose hands. I mean, I was a Hall of Fame batting practice hitter. That is for sure. I used to launch them. Problem was, then all they did was throw me curveballs. Oh, I used to love BP. I put on a show. This is a tough one. 1968 through 78. I'm not going to get this. So he was on the Yankees for a minute. That is this guy. All right. This guy still worries me. I don't know why. His numbers are really good. You see good ground ball rate, good numbers. All right. So, I mean, you can get, I think you might get a little bit more from Rodon. Hopefully nothing's wrong. Anyway, I'm not going to get this one. Is that like as a right at Jazz? Hey, he catches it. Flips it over to first. Got him. Is that like a backup? He got fat dip in tonight? There you go, Jazz. I see you. Was that like Barry Foote or some like backup catcher? It wouldn't have been Rick Dempsey. Rick Dempsey was with the Yankees, I think, for a minute. That's a tough one. Let me see again. Cubbies. I mean, this is in the 60s. I'm not even born yet. With the Orioles, 73, Yankees, 76. I'm 3-4 years old. And then he retired by the time before I was even collecting baseball cards. That is a tough one. That's definitely not a Dempsey type or a Barry Foote or one of the, although Barry Foote played for the Cubs, but that was later. And now I don't know. I really don't know. How many pitches did Rodon throw tonight? 55, 60? Rodon, 4 innings, and Rodon threw 66. 39 strikes, decent percentage. Only walked what? How many guys? I did walk the 2. Hey, give him a chance to win. Give him a chance to win a little bit. And I'm going to wrap up pretty soon, I think. Maybe I'll watch the Yankees hit once more here. Let's see here. This is way more enjoyable than listening. I love Yes. No, you can't be taking shots. Mike's my guy. First of all, that's a tracer to left field. Even he can't mess that up. Right at Ramos will take the out. Hit it on the screws, kind of. That's a tough play. I always thought that that play to me is one of the toughest plays in baseball. Now, I hated playing outfield. I hated it. I absolutely despise playing outfield. I was a shortstop up until about the age of 13, way too slow to play shortstop. And the shortstop on a good team, but that was the end of playing shortstop. Then I moved to third. Then eventually I found my way to first. And I took a lot of pride playing defense, even as a right-handed defensive first baseman. Like I could scoop it. I had a good arm. I could turn it. I was a good defensive first baseman. But I remember in college, kid transferred in. He was a better hitter than me. Wound up batting fourth. He wound up hitting bomb stud. My buddy Mick came in for Lemoyne, which used to be a big-time program. So I still played, but I moved to the outfield because I had a much better arm, and we both couldn't run a lick. And Mick could pick it at first base as well. And I remember my manager saying, hey, I'm going to throw you in right. And I'm just like, absolutely, yeah, whatever we need. Absolutely. Of course, I'm going to do it. I couldn't stand it. I was bored out there. Like I loved like scooping a ball at first base and then firing it across the diamond of my shortstop, Georgie, making a pick, trying to, turn to 3. Infield, outfield, I loved, playing first base. But the play and not that it was exactly what Ramos just made, but that play, as if you're a young player out there or you're a dad with a young softball player, baseball player, teach it. Like the toughest thing to do as an outfielder is to not come in. Like it's just hard. Your instinct, let me go attack the ball. Because like if you're playing shortstop, you're not backing up on the ball. Now, you don't want to just run at the ball, excuse me, like a lunatic. You got to read the short hop, the long hop, but you're much more inclined to come in than you are to go back, right? At shortstop, unless it's just, one of those wacky plays. Anyway, that ball that's at you, that's got a little sink to it, man, I always found that to be a really, really tough play, And if you do take a step in, I don't care how, you could be Willie Wilson, you could be Gary Pettit, you could be Beltran, you could be Bernie, you could be any other fleet-footed center field. Okay, who you are. If your first step is in, you're cooked. It's almost impossible. As Pete Alonso digs in here. Now my TV's freezing. Come on, don't start this. Alonso rips one on the ground, base hit to left field, pulls his hands in. Good swing there. All right, 2 outs here. Bottom 5. Pete's good season continues. He's up to about 260. Yeah. I mean, of course I'm worried about this. No doubt, Cameron. I'm seeing some new people too. Good. New people checking out the show. Like it, subscribe, check out the channel. Obviously, subscribe to the channel. If you know me from WFAN, you're probably already hooked up in the channel. If you're not, if you don't know where I went, I'm on every day at 10, right around, sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a tick later, but generally from 10 to noon every single day. Doing some youth content, doing some live stuff here. So yes, but of course I'm worried. And I've talked a lot about that on these shows. De Los Santos, a little sinker outside. Imagine having a 3-hitter hitting 223. I mean, this is where we are with baseball. Think about the Yankees 3-hitter tonight and the Orioles 3-hitter, 223. I mean, Don Mattingly hit 345. Keith Hernandez, that's a rip as well. Snagged by McMahon. And all back in the day, like you were a 3-hitter, you were a high average 315 guy. You were George Brett, you were Boggs, even though Boggs didn't have a lot of power outside of that one year in '86 where he hit 23 or 24. But like the 3-hitter, when you batted third, like that was a badge of honor. You didn't strike out much. You could hit foul pole to foul pole. You were confident hitting with 2 strikes. You could rope one the other way in the gap, even if you couldn't run. Mattingly, Brett, Boggs, guys like that. You got dudes hitting 220, 219, 236. Man, baseball is so different. And not to sound, complaining, get off my lawn, but the game's different. And there's a lot of parts of the game that I think are better. What they've adopted here, some of the pace elements to make the game quicker, the pitch clock. Yeah, I mean, reviewing pitches, they're making progress, but some of the things that are broken, some of the things we've gotten away from aesthetically, there's just a lot of inaction. You walk, you strike out, it's rough. BT coming to Red Bank again. I don't know if we're doing that anytime soon. That was the BT and Sal live show. Thank you, Mike. That was great. Sold it out. Place was popping. Aaron Boone was awesome. That was a fun night. Really fun night. Yeah. I'll get some more questions here. We're going to watch the Yankees hit once more, and then I'm going to wrap it up. No, you can keep that up, Jay. I'm sorry. Keep that up, bud. I'm just saying, what's the chances of Lumbard hitting leadoff in the postseason? I wouldn't do it. You don't. Well, I mean, first of all, the postseason is 100 and something at bats away for George Lumbard. If he stays healthy, he ain't getting sent down. I don't care what. He's just too good. So he's here the rest of the year. And listen, they've hit him 5th a couple of games. They started out, I think he was 8th. I think that first game. We've seen him 8th. We've seen him 5th. We've seen him, I think, 9th maybe once. We haven't seen him 1st or 2nd yet. I mean, if you're telling me, if you're asking me, would I rather have Lumbard 1? Let's assume Aaron Judge is back and Aaron Judge is banging and Aaron Judge is healthy. And if he's healthy, he's going to be banging. Would I be intrigued by, say, now maybe you want to split the difference, do a little, I'm trying to think. Yeah. You could go Lumbard 1 righty, Ben Rice 2 or Judge. He likes hitting 2. Judge Rice rolls one over to the right side, about a 4-hopper. He's out. And let me get my act together here. It's like a bumbling fool here. You could go Lumbard 1. I would not be opposed to that. I trust him that much. Like, this guy's just got to disappear. The Ramos. Lumbard 1, righty. Ben Rice 3, lefty. But that's why I'd really like to put Ben Rice 2 to kind of sandwich that lefty stick in between the righties. I know Judge, I think, although I'm sure he'll do whatever is good for the team, I think Aaron's preference is to hit 2, but imagine Lumbard 1, righty, Ben Rice 2, lefty, Aaron Judge 3, righty, Bellinger 4, lefty. Now you start to work in, the Garcias. That's he can't run a lick. That's an easy, going to be out by 5 steps. Take your time, tie your shoes. He's out by a mile. Yeah, I'm just not feeling this dude at all. I'm not. I mean, I know he's going to hit a little bit at some point, but he is off to an awful start. He's just getting too much runway. I don't know. What exactly is he hitting as a Yankee? Was he like 070? I'll get a couple of more comments, and then we'll bounce here. Playing golf again tomorrow there, Jay.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Excited. Ramos.
Who's the group this time? Just some buddies?
This is not the group that I went. I love the way he goes up there ripping, man. He's a hitter. I have full faith Garcia's going to hit. He's got a little chilly as a Yankee, but he's going to hit. No, one of my buddies, Neil, who when I met just out of college, so years ago, great dude. I played golf with him a bunch. Ramos, let me get his splits here. I know he's 244 on the year. What is he hitting? Let me just watch this at bat. The 0-1 to Garcia. It's way outside, ball one. So the Yankees got him. Yeah, I mean, he's hitting 114 in August, and the deadline was August 3rd. So he is. No, I'm sorry. This is Ramos. Yeah. Ramos won. Yeah. I mean, he was, put up decent numbers with San Francisco. I get it. But I don't. That's a ball. See, that's where you want to see a little bit more. Just come on, just decipher a little bit quicker what's a ball and a strike. That is up and that is out. So he's a little jumpy. Now, I know he's trying to impress his new team. I get it, And here's the 1-2 to Ramos. Born in New York City, by the way, rocking the beard. Here's the stretch, 1-1 the score. The pitch. Oh, Chase is low and away or low and in the dirt. Not even close. That's ugly stuff. So he goes down whiffing, misses it by a mile. The Yankees continue to pile up the strikeouts. 1-1 back after this. Middle six out in Camden. How many strikeouts? The Yankees have to have at least 8, I would think. Remember, they had 6 early. Let me check what the Rays are up to tonight, those pesky Rays. The Rays are losing 7-3. Nice. Chance to get a little blood tonight here. Toronto up 7-3. I'm not worried about the Orioles, but if the Yankees handle this and they win a couple of games, get a chance to, just get rid of them, push them out of the way. The Rays are, 5.5, 6 going into tonight. And the Yankees have struck out how many times tonight? 9. 9 strikeouts. How about the top of the order? Gisham 1, Ben Rice 1, Ramos 1. I just don't know why Ramos is hitting third. I can't understand that for the life of me. And I know he's a righty. You got to break things up a little bit, but that's even more reason why you would have. I know you got to look at the bullpen and all the stuff they look at, but for a guy who's not hitting and is a righty against a righty starter, and maybe it's reverse splits. I'll leave that open to a real possibility because I know they factor that in. But why the hell wouldn't you have a lefty in the 3-hole? Spencer Jones has hit third before. Put him third. Put Garcia third. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand that one. That is not how I would make the lineup. PG 17_89. BT, do you think the players cave and accept some sort of cap, or will they stick to their guns and tell Major League Baseball to kick rocks? Well, we were talking about this earlier on the show today. Let me just get my notes. I wrote the exact, I believe it was 246. All right. So the proposed cap, where is that? I had it somewhere over here. Hang on.
It was 245.3. And then the minimum was 171, I believe.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, that's right. Right around 245 to 170, the floor. And there's and we went through literally every team on the show earlier today. If you want to check it out, I don't want to run through it again. But the quick snapshot is there's 7 or 8 teams who are obviously over that. There's a bunch who are under it. There's probably about 9 or 10 who are within those proposed restraints. Listen. Just enjoy this. And enjoy this. I think you got that off the end of the bat. Yeah, absolutely. That even fooled Gisham a little bit. He is just so methodical out there. And, I know his defensive rating is not good, and I don't like him out there. But it is amazing how nonchalant he catches the ball and basically never drops it. It's amazing. A lot of these, he's not alone. These guys catch pop-ups here. It's crazy. I try to do that. I drop it. A-Rod used to hate pop-ups. He would always say that. Couldn't stand them. I could not stand pop-ups. What do we got here? Let me get a couple of more messages, and then I'm going to get out of here. What was that about McCann? I saw something about McCann. Have I ever played McCann? I have played McCann. Yeah. I played McCann. I don't know if he's talking to me. Z Williams. Maybe he's talking to Z Williams, whoever. I'm not sure who that is. But, yeah, I have played McCann, not far from Marist. I absolutely have. Something about the Rays. What else here? Talking a lot about golf. I'm not going to jump in on the golf now. Not that much. All right. I think we start wrapping things up. Good job tonight. Good job tonight. Those who jumped in, I appreciate you guys hopping in. This is fun. Jay, what'd you think, dude? Pretty good?
Great time. Cool. And I can't wait to do more of them.
Yeah. Listen, if you guys aren't feeling this, I'm not going to waste my time. I believe that there's a big audience for this. And I look forward to doing more and more of this stuff, but it's got to make sense here. So, if you're going to jump in, you're going to watch it, like it, subscribe, do your part, because I think this is going to be a great way, rather than me sitting on my couch and, you sitting on your couch. I mean, look at Kenny. Look at how yoked Kenny was. Kenny was a good-looking athlete, man. I liked Ken Singleton. He was good. Local guy, played for the Mets, good announcer, gentleman, interviewed him many times. Ken's a good one. Look, bigger than I thought. Look at those guns, man. Big boy. It's like a tight end or something. We will do this. I mean, you're right. I can't imagine if you saw any of those Jet post-game shows that I've done. Could you imagine real-time reaction, like penalties and touchdowns or missed tackles or, giving up gash plays, whatever it might be? Ooh, did he just hurt his Achilles there? That looked like Ryan Howard. Did he go down or he just fell? No. Okay. You saw that slipping out of the box. Let me give Kenny a little bit of love here. Yep. It's one of the first World Series I truly remember watching. That was a line out to Cal Ripken for the final out. 79 runner-up MVP Don Baylor played for the Yankees. Don Baylor did. 383. Wow. I mean, 388. That is a massive on-base percentage. Didn't realize it was that high. All right, Jay. So tomorrow you and I can talk about this offline. I'm going to do a little earlier tomorrow so I can make the tee time. That one is rocked right at Gisham. Does he have it? He does. You see what I mean? Like, if we try to do that, I'm sure we'd catch some of them. These guys never drop them. And as much as we criticize, look at Bobby Mercer. Another gentleman there. Rest in peace, Bobby. Look at the batting glove. A lot of the guys back then would wear like one batting glove, the Saranac. That was the name of the batting glove back then, Saranac. So, Jay, we'll go tomorrow, probably 8:45, maybe an hour or so. Obviously, do whatever's topical. I got to do some research on what we'll do tomorrow. A little football. I'm sure a little bit from the Yankee game tonight. But if you are watching, like it, sub it, share it. That's how it gets out there. That's how YouTube picks up on it. Like, oh, yeah, people are digging this stuff. People are watching. So then they just disperse it out there more and more and more. There's no, I try to explain this to you guys, right? There's no guessing. It's not like, well, how do you get views? Like, you get views when people react to it, and then YouTube sees an early, gravitation, if you will, to a certain video. And then they see, comments and other interaction. And then the algorithm says, oh, this is interesting. Let me now push this out. The robot, however they do it, and then goes out and it goes on to more and more homepages of YouTube for people who follow sports and, do this stuff. And that's how more eyes get on it. And that's how we grow. Here we go. Still not exactly sure what that means. I really need to figure this out. I know it's a good thing. Stay hydrated. I am. Sipping a little water here. Not gin and juice. Sipping on gin and
just
juice.
Like a little water bottle emoji little thing on YouTube.
So there's no monetary value to it.
No, $5.50.
Oh, nice. All right. Just checking. It's about that's the cost of a bottle of water these days, pretty much.
I know.
Water.
I mean, listen, you go to Yankee Stadium, Citi Field, you're dropping what, $7 on it? It's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy. Some of these prices, dude. No, it's wild. But I'm looking forward, man. All right, I'm getting blown up here. Let me bounce, dude. Let's go, Yanks. Finish this up. Very interesting. What Michael said about, maybe some theories about kind of protecting Shield a little, protecting and shielding Fried a little bit to get him. You know what? I'm here. I may as well watch the Yankees hit. Let's go. I'm going to watch the Yankees hit before I get out of here. I mean, I can't end with the Orioles hit. We got to at least end with the Yankees. Here's Spencer Jones 0 for 2 as he takes a strike, digs in here. Top of the 7th. Game's flying by there, Joe. Here is the set, the pitch. Upstairs lays off 1-1. All right. So Spencer Jones, to me, is the best defensive center fielder on the team. He has popped out. He has struck out tonight. That OPS, he's shown a little bit of growth. Thought we'd see more power. Remember, I'm calling for a monster moonshot at some point this series off the – he misses that by a mile. Swings right over the top. And to be fair, that has been confounding to many hitters tonight. His knuckle curve is tremendous. Now you're dancing. Now your head's a mess. You're like, all right, I missed that by a mile. He could go up. He could go back to the knuckle curve. He could present the high fastball, then go back to the knuckle curve. Let's see. That's a good piece of hitting. Get in there. That a boy. That's nice. There you go. That's what I love. If you could that is one of my favorite things about baseball right there. Look at the replay. 2 strikes. Look at the front shoulder. Bang. Right back up the box. That's right. Look at him. Good stride, on time, beautiful leverage. That is a gorgeous swing by Spence. Now, can we run? Or can we drop down a bunt? Like, can we do something here? Something creative to try to manufacture a run with Jazz, who has done basically nothing this year, hitting 215. All right. Jones could run. Let's see if they put him in motion. We did this a couple of innings ago with Lumbard. They didn't do it. That pitch misses. Ball 1 to Jazz Chisholm, who is always swagged out, whether it's the neon, the arm slam. And by the way, I would wear a lot of that stuff as well. We had none of that when I was playing. We had a big fat gold chain, a little bit of eye black in the Oakleys, and that was pretty much it. Here's the 1-0 to Jazz Chisholm. That's going to, we get a little challenge there. Was that a strike? Can I see a little replay here? They're probably terrified to challenge because they mess them up so much. Can I see a replay? I'm not getting a replay. All right. So Jazz will dig in. 1-1 is the count. Jones, a modest lead there. Doesn't look like he's going to be taken off. I'd get a little bit more of a lead. Here's the pitch, and Jazz rips one down the line. Is that going to hook foul? It is a foul ball. Tough to get the camera angle there, but you could just tell by the reaction of the right fielder. Let's see how much it missed by. Half a foot. Not really on the line. 318 down the line at Camden Yards with a high wall. All right. Here is Jazz. I'll tell you what that was in a minute. Here is Jazz Chisholm 1-2. All right. Just send him now. He's going knuckle curve. Send him. He's going high, though. Here's the pitch. Fastball. No, he didn't go knuckle curve. Instead, he swings right over it, right through it. Strikeout. I don't understand why they're not trying to manufacture a run. He was expecting something else. Look at him. I mean, look like he's a skinny Babe Ruth. That's a 2-strike swing. That's why I can't stand this guy. That's why I want him off the team, and that's why I want Caballero at second base or Volpe at second base. That is a useless, empty at-bat. Do you think it's going to change in October? The answer is no. That is inside and high. Lumbard. You can see, even the way he took that pitch, that's knuckle curve. He didn't completely buckle. He saw that pretty well. I don't know why. I don't know what they're saying on the broadcast, but I would hope somebody's saying, hey, maybe you put him in motion, I would. All right, here's the 1-0. Lumbard. Jones at first. Oh, good swing by the young shortstop. Just over the top there. Some good cheese. 1-1. Lumbard's off to a rousing start. Kind of the talk of baseball, folks, here. Already amongst the top 4 in defensive runs saved. That's an amazing stat I was talking about earlier today. He's probably going to go knuckle curve here. Here's the 1-1 to, that did not get the inside part of the plate. It was a knuckle curve. So now the count tilts in the favor of Lumbard. Yeah, I agree. I can't stand watching him play. Not personal. There's never an adjustment. There's never a reaction to the moment. It's the 7th inning. It's 1-1. You got a man on first, nobody out, and you just do the same thing like it's 13-7, and it's a meaningless game. There's just no variation. We get a little challenge here. Jay, who's challenging? It looks like Baltimore's challenging that, right? That was called the ball, and that's a strike. So they're going to even that up at 2-2. They'll reverse that. That clipped the bottom of the zone easily. All right, now it's are they going to fix the count here? What's going on? What's the count? Is it 2-1?
2-2.
I don't know. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, Lumbard, shorten up, put it in play. You want to put him in motion, guys, maybe at some point? Lumbard calls for time. It's granted. As he steps out, pulls those hands in, as he continues to learn the game at the big league level. No position in sports quite like being the New York Yankees shortstop. What's that say? Oh, Jesus Christ. Damn it.
What?
Nothing. All right, here's Lumbard. It's a good job. I just got a text. I gotta react to something here. Fuck. I can't even enjoy this now. All right, I gotta go. I'm sorry to break this up now.
No, all good.
Fuck. I got to go. All right, man. I got to take care of something. I'm sorry for the abrupt end. They're making a pitching change anyway. So I am sorry about that, guys. I got to take care of something with something here. So, all right, I'll see you tomorrow in the morning. All right, guys, let's go Yanks. Great job by Lumbard. Really good at bat. And just another example of why he's so good. I mean, that was fantastic. So I got to bounce. I will text you guys tomorrow in the morning. I'll see you later. Bye.